his glory days, but also Ari left available. He's just going with Karma here, so we haven't seen any champion repeated so far in the Solo King Korean 1v1 tournament.
All right, cool. So welcome back to what is going to be match number 2 here. Sonstar taking on Nagne as IM versus KT Rollster, another match that we saw earlier on today between the teams. And Sonstar is going to be playing the Varus. He is the AD carry player for the IM team, Incredible Miracle. And Nagne, the mid laner, will be playing the Karma.
Alright, so we'll see if there is Karmic Justice here. Doran's starts for both laners, which is a completely different take on the 1v1 matchup than our previous 1v1. And of course, do want to drop a quick apology for some of the lag issues coming out there, completely beyond our control. But to talk about the 1v1 in-game in our first series of the night, it was all sustained. It was Crystalline Flask, it was tons of potions, but now we actually have Doran's items for maybe a little bit of early combat.
The other thing is here is the Doran's blade will out-sustain the Doran's ring. That's only if, Sonstar isn't completely zoned off. If he doesn't get hit up there. That's just a bit of a troll coming in. Nagne has plenty of mana regeneration. He'll be fine. But,
I was like, Nagne,
interesting.
Come on, man, you gotta take every advantage you can. Go for that maximum BM at level 1 and try to hit the Qs. Sonstar does have the ability to, land Qs of his own, but he hasn't skilled the skill just yet. You go for Hail of Arrows to maybe land more reliable damage, or Piercing Arrow to be able to CS and poke things down.
I think he'll be maxing Piercing Arrow. Just to make sure that he can keep pushing the wave out, no problem. But who knows? Maxing Hail of Arrows wouldn't be that bad, but you miss a lot of damage there. So it's honestly on his preference if he wants to stop some, maybe one of Nagne's potions or two, just reduce that healing by half. So we'll see. The wave is now in play.
I gotta feel very sorry for the observers for games like this, because when you're in a 5v5, there's crazy stuff happening all over the map, but in a 1v1, it's like, well, I'm gonna put my camera in the mid lane, and it's gonna watch them kill creeps for a little bit, and then there's all kinds of action, but you don't really need to move the camera too much for that. There is already a Soulfire, I believe it is called there. Now costs 1 mana after the wrong game, but you get the idea. Nagne able to get that early wave pushing in there. It's gonna be a race for level 2. I think if you do get a early level 2 there on Nagne's Karma, throw down an early tether and maybe force not a flash. It's gonna be summoner heal they're using as primarily the sustain and possibly a little bit of an escape spell too.
Yeah, that extra movement speed wouldn't be too bad from running away from the Karma. And Nagne taking up a barrier and teleport is interesting in itself. I mean, he's going to be able to shield himself twice. He's going to be able to teleport back to lane if anything goes awry and maybe get Doran's ring or two. I'm not sure exactly how he plans on killing anybody, but if he brings us to the farm game, that's where he can definitely shine.
Now, one difficulty that I'm finding right now for Sonstar is that without Flash specifically, if Nagne walks forward, even using a little bit of extra move speed from her shield, and drops a tether onto Sonstar, how does he get out of that tether?
He doesn't. He just man modes and fights up.
I would hope so, and that's what Nagne has to worry about. So maybe a cloth armor on is the pickup when he goes back. Probably just Doran's rings. We already saw how effective that was earlier for some days Nunu.
Yeah, Doran's rings definitely the standard for the AP in the 1 versus 1 matchup, and Doran's Blades is going to be the same for the AD side of it. But, the AD side could also go for Vampiric Scepter and stuff like that, and just really make it almost impossible to kill him by just poking.
Now, speaking of poking, that is very mana reliant for both players, and so you have to keep an eye on that stat for Sonstar. He's dropping down a little bit lower, doesn't have any way to get mana back, and that is an advantage that Nagne will have from the Doran's ring, both regeneration, passive, and active from killing creeps, to help him out there with the poke, which is also defensive due to the shield. A very diverse champion kit there for Nagne. We'll have to see if that is effective enough to turn this around. You can see, Sonstar continuing to get hit by those Mantran Soulfires.
Yeah, that's not what you want in this matchup, especially considering that Nagne is still very, very far ahead of you in terms of health. And I mean, he just keeps going for the Mantran Soulfires, and you're gonna have a tough time. Especially if he gets hit by the second proc, you're pretty much dead.
Do want to correct myself, it is actually Soul Flare, which in some way is different than Soulfire somehow. I don't know, but technically that is the name.
I mean, at least you're not Morgana from like Marvel vs. Capcom, you're just spamming Soulfire. Or I think it's, I forget what it is. Whatever, wrong game.
Something close. Sticking to League of Legends, and as far as Nagne is concerned, Yeah, the wave in a good spot. If he hits, it's not even about hitting level 6 because, of course, Karma doesn't really gain all that much of an advantage from hitting level 6 because he already has all 4 spells. Moving forward here onto Sonstar, like we said, it's going to be about that tether. If she gets in range, Sonstar's going to have a bad time. And specifically now that Sonstar is very low in mana, Nagne does have a very big advantage, being able to still cast all of his spells while Sonstar is kind of running dry on the mana department. It's like it's Black Friday, it's Christmas, the mana department got hit really hard by shoppers. It's barren wasteland. Sonstar needs to restock the shelves, but how's he gonna do that? The answer is probably third trip back to base. But what item are both of these players farming for?
I think Nagne is just gonna pick up more Doran's rings. And Sonstar should be just looking for a Vampiric Scepter or Blades. I want to say that he'll prioritize getting more Doran's Blades, but who knows? Nagne will go back to base. He'll choose his timing, and you know. Oh, actually doesn't get hit out there. Wow.
I probably should have used the Scrying Orb a little bit earlier to stop the recall with a Piercing Arrow, but I think that was primarily to see, hey, is Karma going back to base? Is this an opportunity that I can use to shove this wave in and then hope for back timing of his own?
Yep. So I believe once he kills off this range creep here, he'll be good to go back to base. Yeah. So he'll go back. He's got 51 CS. It's going to be a quad Doran ring pickup for Nagne.
Whoa!
I'm expecting a quad Doran blade for Sonstar.
I don't know if you were playing way back in the beta far enough, but I think it was Season 1 where the build for AD carries and mid laners used to be just stacking Doran's items. And of course that was when Doran's items were completely broken. But yeah, there you go. As many Dorans as humanly possible. 4 swords for Sonstar and 4 rings for Nagne.
Does he just shoot the swords now? Is that what happens? I don't know how he carries those. He's supposed to be Arctic Ops, supposed to be sneaky, and
he has a giant bow. There are no swords in that skin, Egad. Where are they? I don't see them.
I don't know. In his back pocket. He's an Arctic Op. Maybe he's got him in like a survival bag somewhere hidden in the rift. But
it's a little bit like if you remember playing like the old Legend of Zelda games. Like you have all these items in your bag. Like you have 30 bomb shoes in there, and you're just like, where do I keep all the bomb shoes? Are they empty shoes? I don't know. But there's the tether there from Nagne. I believe he actually might have mantraed that up. And that actually becomes a huge source of sustain for Karma. If you do go for a mantra'd focused resolve, turns into renewal, and it gives you back 20% of your missing health. You can't actually turn around these low health situations. And with no ignites in the game, you're always going to get the full heal value.
And at this point, the poke from Nagne really just doesn't do enough. He can try to tick him out. I mean, Sonstar just man up and fight and just trade like that, and he gets 12% back in terms of lifesteal, and I mean, you're not gonna win exchanges now against this virus. It's way too hard.
As far as the auto attacks go, yeah, it's gonna be very difficult to to stop that from being in Sonstar's favor. But when it comes to the sustain, I was talking about how renewal actually gives you so much extra health back, but it actually lasts. Oh, no ultimate to land, but look at those auto attacks hitting. Nagne doesn't play this very, very carefully. Has the mana advantage, but look at that HP, and every time Sonstar auto attacks, he's gonna get so much health back from 3% life steal.
Is this the patch where they increase the width on the Chain of Corruption?
No, I think that actually comes a little bit later on, but you can see Nagne there using the mantra focused resolve, getting all that HP back from renewal.
Okay, so once they make that change, the Chain of Corruption virus is probably going to see a like 70% spike in play.
Yeah, it's really good, but arguably has the hardest ultimate to hit in League of Legends.
Yeah, so
like Xerath ultimate's hard to hit, but at least you get 3 tries. For Varus, you just get 1, and it's a very narrow projectile even still. So Nagne pushed back to his turret. He's doing a decent job at CSing and preventing damage being done to him, but he's dropped down 2 CS again. Might be what turned things around.
I mean, if he can just keep the perfect CS off the waves that come up, at some point he should be able to take an even more significant lead. And once we hit that 100 creep threshold, he just gets 110, and that's it, and that's the game over. And this one might actually be the first one to come down to that creep ruling, so we'll see.
Yeah, I just realized that because the Doran's passives stack, every time Nagne kills a creep, he gets 16 mana back.
Yep.
Which is actually huge, because 16 times 6 minions in a wave, that is 96 mana. Damn, we're like the best mathematicians out there, which is a major feat for me. having a, you know, a terrible track record with doing math live on the fly.
Oh, jeez.
I think the observers actually pointing out, oh, there's actually the tether going to finish things off. Sonstar in a little bit of trouble, but like I said, somebody here on, there's the ultimate. Nagne could be in a little bit of trouble. There's barrier forced out, but no kills to be had, and Sonstar now out of mana.
That was interesting. I mean, to at least force the barrier was good. Nagne has his TP back up though if he wants to go back to base, and Sonstar held on to the heal, which is the most important thing out of that because that's a pretty long cooldown. And next set of cooldowns could be not. Yeah, that was close.
Exactly. Yeah, one more inner flame, especially if it's mantraed into a soul flare, is that's gonna take down Sonstar. So Nagne just barely survived Sonstar's all in, not once but twice, and is now going to send it back to base. Now it's just in time for his what?
Oh, Spectral Cowl. Okay, I'm
yeah,
down.
Yeah, but the pink ward on the Summoner Fountain, I'm a little bit confused.
Oh, that's because the tower died. So he did that just to make sure that he spent the gold that he got from the tower dying.
Okay, that's a good thing to point out. I was like, wait a second, how is that in the meta? Then I realized, yep, tower died, so you have to spend the 100 gold you get from the turret kill just to keep things even.
And then we have a. Oh, geez, I can't remember what that item is.
a haunting guise versus a fiendish versus a Spectre's Cowl. All right, yeah, a lot of new items coming out, and interesting to see the defenses. So some health there for Nagne, some magic resistance for Sonstar, and what this means is that, you know, the Spectre's Cowl, there's actually a lot of healing in a Spectre's Cowl. Every time you take damage, you'll heal a little bit of back with some extra regeneration. So now Sonstar won't take a lot of damage. He'll still have a lot of damage to dish out, but is that enough magic resistance penetration from the haunting guys?
I don't think so. The Spectre's Cowl passive is going to be really nice to have here too, considering that every time he gets hit, it's just going to be that nice little bit of regeneration, and breaking through that with the Karma is going to be very tough considering how burst oriented she is.
At this rate, now that we're over the 100 CS mark, that means that anytime there is a 10 CS differential between both players, the game's just over. So this is going to be determined primarily by CS, and you can actually use that to you know, maybe get more of an aggressive trade. If your opponent tries to go for CS, you just kill it, because now that CS is so important, could turn this game around.
Yeah, Nagne's going to be 3 ahead the entire time if he doesn't miss any more underneath this turret. So got to keep an eye out of that, because wow, Sonstar just actually missed 2, so that's going to be pretty big. But he gets half the damage to the tower, and he's going to get tethered up. He's going to get rooted in place, but there's no way Nagne can fight this. Yeah, it's way too hard.
Completely going to lose the 1v1, but with Sonstar, the bigger problem is that he's able to push this wave into the turret, and Nagne having a difficult time dealing with that. Will continue to try to stop this wave, but there's the all-in coming in, and Chains of Corruption going to land. There's the counter chain. Coming out, Soul Flare hitting as well. Nagne trying to run away there from the mid lane. Sonstar completely out of mana though. So spent a lot of time going for that all in, but he actually dropped way down in CS, 5 CS more for Nagne, and he wins the game.
Well, I mean, it's going to be tough to get to that still.
Oh,
Nagne, though? Oh, no.
Sonstar, one more auto attack, uses that summoner heal, but he's so far down in HP.
He can't leave the lane or he loses. There's no way.
And he's going to get zoned off the creep wave, and I think this is going to be the victory for Nagne, who just needs about 4 CS and trip back to base for Sonstar. I think he's just kind of conceding here. If Nagne is able to pick this one up, yep, there is the 10 CS advantage. It's Nagne for KT picking up game 1 win over Sonstar.
All right, so my prediction was wrong. I thought that Sonstar would be able to do it. The AD Varus looked strong in the beginning, but just the perseverance from Nagne, and also that really close exchange just kind of forcing him all the way back.
We're going to see the epic conclusion of this game.
Wow!
The replay of Nagne killing CS and Sonstar just sitting behind his turret. Not all that much that he can do.
Whoa!
CS this!
I don't know how to say 3 in Korean, unfortunately, but...
There's Nagne, our winner in the first game of this best of 3 series. He'll take down game number 1, and in KT fashion tonight, EGAD,